Yep.
Good morning. Technical difficulties. Actually, not technical difficulties. It was when you update and then your computer decides that everything needs to start all over again. So, good morning. What a way to start the week. Happy Tuesday to everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am Dr. Lori Monaco with Align Yourself, Inc. I am a coach, life coach, specializing in transformation and mindfulness practice. I am a speaker and a holistic practitioner, and I am known as the Badass Buddha, and I'm coming to you from another dreary day in Connecticut, Southern Connecticut. So welcome, good morning.
Good morning, buenos días, namaste, mi gente. Aquí te habla la Margarita, spiritual and creative healing life coach, writer, author, talker. Coming to you from dreary, rainy Tampa, Florida. Good morning, and I am your gladiator guru. So let's wake up, shake it off, cause it's a beautiful morning.
Yes, dreary today. The West Coast, because of the beautiful hurricane that's making landfall. My goodness, what a hurricane season this has turned out to be. Holy crap. But hopefully you won't get anything off that. You're pretty good. You're in a good spot. Things don't tend to hit you. They sort of work their way up straight. They go up. Let me do it this way. They go up towards
yeah, that's been
Louisiana, Texas,
Yeah, that's been happening, but it's been last year, the year before, we got like some, but it's been a blessing. It's been unfortunate for other places, but
yeah, because it's been getting progressively worse. So I mean, even we got what did we get? It wasn't even a hurricane. We got a tropical storm. What, a month ago, 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and it doesn't happen too often in the Northeast. But when it does happen, even a tropical storm is just so devastating. Like, we were out of power for days, and thank God for a generator. But so I can only imagine what it would happen if we get hit with an actual hurricane, like category 1, 2, God forbid 3. We'll be out of commission for a while. And then the wildfires. Of course, I was watching the Weather Channel this morning, so I got my update on all the weather and stuff. And the wildfires in California, worst season. Worst year for wildfires, I think they said, in their history so far.
Where are they?
Everywhere. They said that the amount of acreage that has been burned so far is the size of my state of Connecticut. That's what they said, the whole entire state.
Which is actually the size of Puerto Rico,
Is it? Connecticut and Puerto Rico are the same size? Oh, I didn't know that. See, we have trivia.
It takes you 3 hours to go from New York through Connecticut to Massachusetts. And in Puerto Rico, it takes you 3 hours to go from one side of the island, from, like, let's say, San Juan to Aguadilla. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's compared. It's compared. It's been compared. I want to say good morning to Andrea Santiago. Hola,
morning,
Colombia.
Andrea.
To my brother, Miguel. I love you, brother. And to my beautiful daughter-in-law, Natalie Nicole. Good morning, and thank you for coming in today.
And a shout out to good morning, Tiffany Bryan. Tiffany jumped right on this morning, and she says, good morning, beautiful ladies. Well, good morning, beautiful Tiffany. We're glad you're here. What is everybody drinking today? You doing any new coffee today? How about your mug? I got my Live with Purpose mug. And
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Good morning, Maria Garcia. She's like a sister to me. Today it's La Llave. Look at that. I was so in a rush. My cup is messy, but I don't care. It's delicious. Yeah. So it's Cafe La Llave today in my mug. And let me tell you, people, and it's not a group thing. It's a me thing. I have this same mug, which is beautiful. It's like a clay pottery from Marigold. Is it Marigold?
I don't know.
Chip and that couple that does flipping houses and now they have their own magazine.
Oh, Magnolia.
Magnolia. It's from the Magnolia collection. So I love it. And I bought one for me and Lori months ago. So it's made and with the cup logo. So everything's coming and Lori will be happy with it. You gotta have patience with Margarita. Margarita owns none. So yeah. So buenos dias.
Of course I'd be happy with what you produce. I mean, you're so creative and you're so artistic, and I don't even doubt it, you know? Not at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Shout out to Brianna Cunningham. Good morning, Brianna. Glad you're here. And we're glad everybody's here because today's conversation, we'll get to in a moment, but today's conversation is kind of not recapping, it's like boosting you up after the last 2 weeks with the relationship red flags and then the toxic relationships. So we're going to be talking today about redesigning your life after bad choices. So before we get into that, we want to set our intentions for today. We want to talk about the, your mugs and create the mantra. So let's talk about the mugs first. So just give them a quick reminder, Margie, if you want to let them know what they need to do.
So this is for everybody who's on, and please share this morning video on your page, and let's get it out there. Let's let's share knowledge and let's let people know that they're not alone in the world, one show at a time. So if we do this and I share it and then each one of us shares it, guess what? The person who needs to hear this will hear it. But it's all a tribe effort. And so take a picture of your mug. I really don't care if it's a Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup that you're having today. You're having coffee. You're enjoying it. Yes.
Celebrate it.
So take a picture with it. Take a selfie with it. Hey, coffee. Or just a cup on its own. And tag Viva Cafe con Leche on Facebook or Instagram with it. Because we still have the challenge going on. One person already won the other challenge with the most shares. We're not going to say her name. But we still have the coffee mug challenge going on. And you're probably saying, wow, this is the longest challenge. Was better for you, right? Especially if you just started watching the show. So let's not complain. And it's better for you to win more than just the gift we had because, it's gone longer, so you'll get more. So send us your Taza de Café challenge photo of your coffee this morning. Again, Viva Cafe con Leche on Facebook and Instagram. Just tag us or send it to us via Messenger. Good morning, Edie. So yeah,
I think they could tag us directly and post.
Yeah,
I think we're allowed to. And listen, it really looks pretty. You've been posting some pictures of some very cute cups, and it's just like they're adorable. So definitely, and you know what's hilarious? I haven't sent a single picture of mine. Now that I think about it, all these weeks that we've been doing this, and I have so many mugs. I think I'm just gonna pose them and take a bunch of them and then just make pictures and then send them because it's nice to see it. It's nice for when people go onto the Instagram page or onto the Facebook page and they see all these postings of your mugs. And you know what? And while you're at it, if you're going to post, put in the comments too of what you love about your coffee, how it makes you feel. Add a little content to it so that people could share in the community of it, because that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point that we decided to do this was it's a cup of coffee and a conversation. And, the goal is to have some really great conversations that you can take in for the information that we're sharing with you and maybe make amazing life changes, maybe make little changes, but make changes in your life, or at least add knowledge to your base and share that information with other people who might need it. So, I mean, that's the whole point of all of this. But yeah, definitely put your cup there and just share something. Share insight that you want to share, or how you feel about your coffee, how you feel about what coffee means to you. And what else? What else?
See if it makes you feel that nostalgia of
Right.
happy childhoods, happiness in the past, or just it brings forth, memories of your grandparents, because that's what it does for me. um Coffee is its own language. Let's learn to speak it, because it'll set off our day blessed and a blessing to others. And people are like, oh, coffee don't do all that. Yes, it does. It does. So, it's a conversation starter. It's a come over, I'll wipe your tears over a cup of coffee. It's, coffee is that staple. So, it's just a beautiful thing. And yeah, share something, insight, because, we're real talk. We talk on subjects that a lot of people don't even want to think about, because if they think about it, then they have to acknowledge the fact that it's happening. Then they got to accept that they need to change, or they need to do something different, right? And I'll tell you this because I had somebody who told me, I cannot watch your shows. I said, what do you mean you're not going to watch my show? That's just support. She says, no, because you talk about stuff that is too real, and it makes me feel stupid that I haven't done anything about it. So don't go that route.
And in fact, that's a beautiful segue, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. That's one of the pieces of what we're going to be talking about today, is feeling that way about yourself when you're dealing with hard to discuss topics that pertain to you. So yeah, that's a big one right there. I'm glad you brought that up, Margie, and I'm glad you said that, that somebody actually said that to you, because, we don't ever, first of all, that's not the intention of the show. And second of all, sometimes the hardest things that we have to face are the things that we absolutely have to face. And that's pretty much why we stagnate. That's pretty much why we become complacent. And I know, because I've done it so many times in my life, and I'm still struggling to this day with dealing with some of these on multiple levels. So you're not alone. I mean, you really aren't.
They're not, but see, I differ with you, because this is the intention. When we speak, for me, when we speak on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's to be up in their face, because I consider myself a messenger. And just like when I meet someone that that what they say rings, I'll sit and talk, I'll sit and listen, because I know there's a message there. And I told this person, I said, you're stronger than what you think. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm not, because I can't face certain things. And I said, do you know that you just admitting that to me, you're putting that flaw, that what's holding you back, out into the sun. So it is, you want to take that step, but your fear is stopping you. I said, just work on it. Play a little bit at the end. Don't watch the video live, but when you have a moment, play 5-10 minutes, like that, 15, until you could watch the whole show, and have a pad and pencil with you. There's certain words you're going to want to write.
And what I meant by the intention is that our intention.
No, I totally understand what you were saying. No.
Yeah, no, but to inspire, our intention is to inspire, to push you, not stop you. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh.
If you're feeling like you can't watch it because the information is just so tough that you don't want to deal with it, that's when you sit there and take a breath. And that was beautiful, Margie. Take pieces of it, or watch the shows that are not going to necessarily trigger you. I mean, food and sex, really. We have a show, Food and Sex. So why would that bring up anything? Maybe it would. I don't know. Depends on you. But yeah, at little increments. It's, again, whenever you feel that resistance, that's usually the path you have to go down, because you're having to face something that you really don't want to face. And, again, you can sit there and sit at that edge and never move forward. And we have all been there. Margie and I have both been there. Like I said, she and I go back and forth with little pieces currently in our life right now, in our present, that there's pieces that we're moving forward on, and there's pieces that we are hesitating on because it's going to require a lot of energy. It's going to require big shifting, and it's going to require other people to be involved. And, you know, that just happens. But at some point you get past it and you move forward. So, all right, so let's set the intention for today, unless you want to do a couple of shout outs, because I see a bunch of people jumped on.
I think I started a watch party. And no, did I start a watch party?
You did. I saw that you did.
Okay.
You did.
You know, I gave a shout out to everybody who's on right now.
Edith says on.
Mm-hmm.
On. Good morning, you guys. Denise is on. Good morning.
Denise, good morning. Buenos dias.
So, okay, let's set the intention for today and then the mantra. Okay, so the intention for today: to live my life authentically and unapologetically, and to rise to meet my own standards. Read that in for a minute.
Mm-hmm. And then read it again, please.
To live my life authentically and unapologetically, and to rise to meet my own standards.
Like that.
Yeah, write that down. All right. How about the mantra for today to go right along with that?
The mantra is, I'm going to say it. So everyone who's listening, just close your eyes. And then if you need it repeated, we could put it in the topic. So the mantra for today is, I will not mourn over my bad decisions. I will not mourn over my bad decisions. I will just start overcoming them with good ones. I will just start overcoming them with good ones. So I'm going to say it all together. I will not mourn over my bad decisions. I will just start overcoming them with good ones. Now, how much sense does that make? All it's saying is, you know, you can't have one foot in yesterday and one on the threshold of today and tomorrow. You can't do that, because then you're not fully present in your now. And if you're not fully present in your now, you're not going to understand which way the fuck to go. So focus.
Correct.
Let's just focus. Okay.
That's correct. All right. So today's topic is redesigning your life after bad choices, and we have all made them. And I want to distinguish the difference between bad choices or making a choice and making a mistake, because I hear this so often, and it drives me absolutely insane as a person and as a coach, that people will often say, I made a mistake. The difference with the mistake and a choice is that mistakes are often made with minimal knowledge or understanding of what you're doing, and especially of the outcome, and you just do it and then to see what happens. Choices are deliberate. They are, most people will go in knowing that there's the potential outcomes, and they go in with it and they still make the decision to move forward and do that. And so what happens is when somebody makes a good choice, I made a really good choice. They don't ever say, I made a good mistake. They say, I made a good choice. And if it's a bad choice, they'll say, I made a mistake. No, because you could only make a mistake one time on a specific thing. If you keep doing it over and over again, those are choices. Mistakes are to be learned from, so are choices. So I just want to distinguish that. That's one thing that really ticks me off when people start throwing that word out there. So, and I've caught myself, mistake hardly is ever in my vocabulary these days. It's always choice. I have made some doozers in my life. I've made some really bad choices, and they've affected mostly me, sometimes other people, but I had to own up to it. So for me to say I made a mistake, I don't even remember the last time I've actually said that, So redesigning your life after bad choices. The biggest challenge is believing you are worth it. So we're going to talk about all this today. First, work on yourself. Second, work on yourself. Third, work on yourself. So you get the picture here, right? Start with awareness of self, be accountable to yourself for your choices, be compassionate to yourself, be loving to yourself. And the questions to ask yourself, which we're going to get into all of these today. What did I learn from my choices? What can I do differently going forward? Okay, so how do you want to start, Gladiator Guru? How would you like to start?
Just where you're at. I like what you were saying.
So I printed up something from a couple of articles yesterday, and these are the main pieces of it. And we can talk about these pieces because you and I've discussed this yesterday, and we were on the same page anyway. Because even when I was reading them, you know, Margie had already either said it or was agreeing to it. So this is what you have to do in order for you to avoid making more bad choices. You have to change your thought process and who you are today. So some of the things that you're going to be doing are these things. Quit avoiding reality. Quit living in the past, which is what Margie had said. 1 foot in the door to the present and 1 foot in the past is not going to get you anywhere. And we're going to talk about these. So quit making excuses. Quit putting yourself last. Quit settling for less. Quit refusing to listen to good advice. Quit being so impulsive, quit being so emotional, quit avoiding the red flags, quit being negative, quit avoiding change, quit doing things that go against your values, quit avoiding making a decision. That's my bad one. Quit letting others define you and quit thinking you know it all. And don't lie to yourself, because here's what I've learned. The people who lie are the ones that never really wanted to change in the first place. I mean, I've seen that time and time again. You have to be, I guess that maybe that's the first piece. Maybe that's the first piece we talk about is that number one, you have to know that you're worth it, right? Because people will not change unless they believe that they deserve it, that they're worth it. If you think that everything that's happened to you, all the bad choices that you have made, or all the bad things that have happened to you in life, bad relationships, whatever, are you know, because you did something bad in your life or you deserve it, or then that right there is the first thing that's got to change, right? The mindset of your belief about yourself.
It most definitely. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's what happened.
No, I was waiting for you to.
When we talked
you to jump in
last week, because I lived that. So there's another thing I wanted to say. You know, Lori and I, we have together we have tons of experience, and that's why we can sit here with such confidence and speak about a lot of these topics that we created were because we lived it. We didn't read about it, we didn't hear about it. So as a survivor of that guilt of feeling that I deserve to be unhappy, in a place that was very uncomfortable for me, that's bullshit. And my father, it's in my book, and I'm always going to revert back to my book because this second edition of Soul Searching for Peace, it's like awesome. And I am just so happy to be so in love with this book because there's so many authors that I love, and like The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. I own practically every one of his books, but I have 9 copies of The Alchemist because every time I've read that book, and I'm thinking, I gotta love me like that. So in that book, there's one, when I speak about my father and I list the things of lessons he taught us, the first one is, nunca te engañe, never lie to yourself. He told us that since we were little. Never lie to yourself. And don't beat yourself up because the world does that on its own. So yeah, Lori, I totally agree that you have to pray to God to forgive your sins and your mishaps. That's the only one too. And then every day that and you put it out into the universe that you deserve to be happy, that you deserve to be surrounded by good-hearted people, that you deserve to live a life of abundance. And that just goes to say is we cannot keep beating ourselves up. We've either had it done in the past, We're living through it now, or rest assured, it's going to happen going forward. So put on that armor of confidence today. Go, Lori. I'm sorry.
No, my God, no. I wanted you to say your stuff. So yes, self-worth, okay? And you can't beat yourself up about bad choices either. You effed up. We all do. And you are not the only player in your bad choices. If we're talking about relationships, we're talking about situations, there's always somebody else involved. Most of the time, some situations it's just you. But if you're talking about relationships, it takes more than one person. And so don't beat yourself up. I deserve this, or I'm an awful person, blah, blah, blah. You just have to own your part of it and let them own their part of it, and do not allow them to blame you for everything unless you played that role. You know, so that's why you have to really take your step back and analyze yourself and say, what role did I play? And how could I have done things differently? Now that's a past, like a question to ask yourself about the past that you can't change, but it's important so that you don't make that same choice in your present moment. So you have to sort of ask yourself those things. So you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable for the parts that you've played, so that you know what to change moving forward. You know, so like maybe, you know, we were talking about relationships and we're talking about toxic people and all this stuff, but what about your relationship with money? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe your problem is that, you know, you have a decent significant other and you have great friends, but you feel so down about yourself that you spend money to fill something, a void. And you get yourself in debt, and you're always broke and you never have any money. So that's a relationship, and apparently toxic, right? So you want to say to yourself, okay, so what role am I playing here? And what do I need to do to change this? So that piece that says quit avoiding realities, you have to look at it as much as it sucks, because again, we've all been there. And the actual, I don't know, Margie, what do you think? Like the hardest piece, I think, is facing that reality, is when you have to look at not just that one piece that's right in front of you, but you have to go back and say what led up to it. What was going on that led up to this? I mean, I know, speaking for me, with all the stuff that has happened to me, especially the big thing that happened 5 years ago, I had to look back and go, how did it lead to this? Because everything leads to something. It just doesn't magically come out of nowhere. And I had to own so much of it, and I had to face the reality that I didn't want to face. And it was harsh and it was awful. But you face that reality, and then you ask yourself, do I really want to be in this anymore? Do I want to have this type of reality anymore? And if I don't, how am I going to change? You are going to make different choices, because you're going to be fully aware now. So fully aware, accountable, stop making excuses, stop living in the past. Anything you want to interject?
I think that when women, because that's who I'm speaking for, because that's the whole be a goddess in awe of yourself. When women refuse to acknowledge what's going on because they feel ashamed that they allowed it to go on this way, it's courage. It's not guilt and shame, and you don't lack the courage. The courage for you to say, I'm not, let me just stay where I'm at because it's my fault why I'm here. It's courageous for you to take the blame for someone else's bullshit. So be that courageous for yourself. That's and acknowledge that beautiful. You need a change, that you need a change in your life away from where you're at right now. So if you're going to have courage, you're going to build up courage for someone else. Take your power back. And you know what? Feel shame, feel guilty, feel whatever the hell you need to feel as you're walking towards the door. The bottom line is that you are walking your path to your freedom, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever it may be. And if you, with every step, you have to cry and cringe because You allowed this, you allowed this, you allowed that. No, it's not about what, see, everything is you allowed, past tense. No, focus all that courage on the steps you're taking now to walk away, to exit whatever emotional toxicity you're in now. Whatever change you want to make. Maybe it's not that toxic. Maybe you just woke up today and say, you know what? I feel that my life is going in a different direction. Speak it. Don't look for thoughts. Don't cause more chaos to where you're at. Just say, you know what? It's time for me to go. And just go. But the thing is, be courageous in every decision you make. It'll be easier for you to place yourself somewhere and displace yourself from somewhere when the time has come. Mickey says a great book to help with connecting with the universe is The Universe Has Your Back by Gabriel Bernstein.
Yeah, I love Gabby. I love Gabby Bernstein. Yes.
I'll check it out, Miggy. But that's what it is. And I think that when we do that, let's stop shaming ourselves. It's what I said earlier. You know, stop lying to yourself that you deserve this or that it's your fault because you stayed. No, it's your fault after you acknowledge that fact. If you stay, then it's your fault. Now it's gonna take you harder to get the hell out the hole.
Mickey also had said before, if you don't face it, it will continue to show up. Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's not that it continues to show up. It's that it'll just be more in your face, but it's always there in the shadows. It's like those demons. They're demons that you keep feeding, that you keep serving a plate at your table. Metaphorically speaking, you give them a place at your table.
Not necessarily metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, because you haven't faced it. You haven't told them, you know, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus if you have to. Jesus is powerful. That's
throw
my
holy
boy.
Water, throw holy water on them. Maybe they'll disintegrate.
Yo, Jesus always has my back because when I feel that, I'm like, Jesus, you know me. Yeah, you know. So
Tiffany writes, we can't embrace our future until we let go of the past. Absolutely, yes. And you know, here's the interesting thing about this. We know this. Okay, it's said all the time, and yet we still do it to varying levels. Like we hold on to stuff and we keep doing stuff, and we just we'll get ahead a little bit, and then we'll kind of pull ourselves back a little bit, but it's exactly what I love what you said, Margie, because you said about, you know, we're so courageous to help others. We will jump in if somebody's getting bullied. We will jump in to people that we don't even know and help somebody in need, but we don't do it enough to ourselves. We're not brave enough to ourselves
because we feel less deserving, you know. And it's something we're gonna need. We have individually, we need to write a list of all what we love about ourselves.
I have to do some my little one's bothering me while I'm on here, and she needs me to do her hair really quickly. So you keep talking, honey. Keep talking.
Good morning, Charlotte.
Say good morning. She said good morning
to you. What was I saying? What was the last thing I said?
Oh my God, I blanked out because I was dealing with her.
Okay, that's fine.
I apologize.
No,
we were just talking about what, you know, like being brave, walking out the door, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I would say make a list, at least 5. Let's always work with 5 because it's easy to count on your fingertips. And you know, I do that when I go to the store. Okay, I needed this. What the hell was number 5? And then the rest follows. Of strong qualities about yourself. Whether it is that you get up early every morning. Whether, like me, you sweep and mop and disinfect your house every night before you go to sleep. Whether your energy efficient, your energy, like you make sure that all the lights are off, things are unplugged. I mean, I don't care if it's you putting your shoes toe to toe wherever they're at. List 5 of your great qualities that they're yours. You don't have to, it's not about, remember, it's with me, it's never about material stuff. It's never about what you own, where you live. It's never about that. It's about 5 things about you that you love, that no one can take away from you because you own them. And then,
Yep.
and then if the list goes beyond 5, then yay, you know, go buy yourself some flowers. I also believe if you celebrate yourself, you know, people do not validate you, whether it's your lover, your children, your parents. No, God breathes breath into you every morning. That's all the validation you need. That our King has said, get up, Margarita. It's time to roll today. He believed in me. So he gave me this day. And before my feet touch the ground, I am like, Father, God, show me the way. Let me know what I have to do. And bless my steps as I go along, because I know me, I'm going to fuck up somewhere along the way. So what do? I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. And just me acknowledging that I'm going to like falter, that's a strength. That is not a weakness.
No,
And
not at all.
you don't need, the one thing you don't need is validation of how beautiful you are, how shapely you are, or that you're important because you own a Louis Vuitton purse, that you own a big house. Who the hell wants a big house? I don't want to clean a big house. I'm happy with my little 1-bedroom bungalow with the little added rooms. So yeah, 5 things that only you possess. Right, start with that list. And then you can go on. I don't want you to write 5 things that you're bad at, that you need improvement on. No. What are you good at right here and now? Because, mi gente, however you messed up in yesterday, it's not today. And you made it out here. And if I know we all have things to work on. We all have things we got to change. We all have a different path we must take in order to live that life of peace and of abundance. Because in order to be filled with abundance, then we need to have some peace in our hearts, some peace within our souls. And I've learned that the hard way as well. So it's not about what you did yesterday. We all have work to do, but celebrate who you are today. Write down 5 things that are great about you. You know, like I said,
So
it could be as simple as you sweeping and mopping and disinfecting your house before you go to sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, you got that energy to just go, and you don't have to do anything but wash your ass and get dressed. And so it's just because that's how simple life is, Lori. You know, and
yes,
people might think I'm brass or whatever, and I'm okay with it. That's not my issue, what you think about me. It's really not my business what you think about me. But I know who I am. I know that wherever I stand firm. And it's going to
yes.
take more than a hurricane to knock me down. Because I believe that I, once upon a time, severely damaged, that I believed in myself because of the love of God, that he guided me through there. He was that light at the end of my tunnel that took me out that darkness that never really, the abyss never had me. And then it's like I always found my way out of it. It never put its grasp on me because I believed in myself. I said, there's a reason why I'm here. So I'm a thrift store shopper, no name brand. Write down, what are you? Who are you? What do you do?
So
5 things.
Marina says, I love flowers and I buy them for me all the time. And Stephanie writes, so I wanted to address this. So Stephanie wrote, I find it so hard to love myself, but I can pour it into someone else so easily. And I've always felt that was my downfall. Okay, so let me address this for a second. Stephanie, here's what I want you to do. So Margie's saying, and this is a fabulous thing for you all to do today, is to write these 5 things down that you love about yourself. And if you're struggling to write the list for yourself, I want you, Stephanie, to think about the things that you love about other people. Write 5 of those down. Of what you like, when you like somebody, when you love somebody, what is it about them that you love? And I guarantee you that the pieces that you love about other people are really what you love about yourself. We oftentimes seek to find things within people that are actually within us. That's why a lot of times we believe people can change and be, you know, like women, like we're notorious for looking beyond the man and saying, oh my God, you know, I see so much in him. He has so much potential. And that's the quality that's within ourselves that we are trying to put into somebody else, and that sometimes we're just not brave enough to step into our own to say that. But if you think about what are the things that like you're always looking at in other people and write them down and really look at that list, those are all the beautiful things about you. So, and you can get them. I mean, you can make this list. Your honesty, the ability to love people, like maybe that's your strong point, is you love people so much. You're very helpful. You're very supportive. You're very loyal, but maybe the reason you can't see it within yourself and say, I can't list those as a love for myself, because you might have been either hurt by that in the past, right? Because of your bad choices as far as boundaries are concerned. That was always my problem. One of my continuous bad choices have always been with regards to boundaries. Although I've gotten better over the last few years, but I've poured myself into other people because I knew that was a strong quality of mine, that I was that person. I could see things in people, and I was really like a big supporter. But then it ended up causing more problems to my life and caused my depression. And finally I woke up and said, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't sit there and give and not give something back to me, because of what Margie had said. We look for validation in others. And listen, I want to stress something, and I think Margie will agree with me on this. There's nothing wrong necessarily with being validated by somebody else. It really isn't. Listen, it's cool as hell when you get all dressed up and your significant other goes, damn, you look sexy as fuck. There's nothing wrong with that. Take it, enjoy it. But you also look in the mirror, and before you get out there, and you're going to go, damn, I'm sexy as fuck. That's what you say to yourself.
Absolutely.
It's both yourself, and you could get validation from others, but don't look for the validation from others.
That's key. That's the key. When I said that, there's people who only get dressed up, who only wear certain things just so people could tell them they look good. Don't do that. Be yourself.
Right. That's
you know what? Let me tell you something. When I come out on this show, and is that Stephanie Nieves, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. If she only knew how inspirational she is. We used to have coffee talk at Starbucks, and we talked for a minute, but I was listening to her and the animation in her voice and how she expressed things in real life, real talk. Like she didn't sugarcoat it. So yeah, and you know what? But listen, look at who she comes from. Who does she come from? Her mom. Her mom is kind and compassionate, right? She's sincere. She's an idealist. Hence, Viva Cafe con Leche was a seed that Carmen Nieves planted in. So, idealist.
Oh, Stephanie.
She's a pillar of strength for her family.
Oh.
Yeah, and the community. And so that's where she grabs. So, you know what? And Carmen's
awesome. She's so cute. I love.
Like I get
funny. So your mother's a.
I pause because it's like the words got stuck. It's like they got bottlenecked coming out. And so yeah, so Stephanie is her mother's child.
So
they are
based on everything that you just said, Margie. Stephanie, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take a piece of paper and you're gonna write these 5 things. And you fill in this too, because you just said it. You're going to write what I love about myself. I'm compassionate. I'm sincere. Oh my God, I totally forgot. We've frozen. Here we go. I'm compassionate. I'm sincere. You froze for a minute. So
I know.
Write down what you said. Say, I'm compassionate. I'm sincere. I'm inspirational. What else did you say when you were talking about her and that
about Carmen?
And no, about Stephanie.
Kind and compassionate.
Kind. So Stephanie, you write those 5 things down, right? Kind, compassionate, Inspirational.
grateful, sincere.
Sincere. And what else? One more. What can you think?
For Stephanie,
Yes.
kind, compassionate, sincere. She is, what do you say? She's a go-getter. She's has the spirit of a warrior. She's a fighter. She is a fighter.
You put all of those on there, whether you agree with them or not, because obviously it's true, because Margie is saying this. She's saying this is what how you are. So we want you to take that piece of paper and hang it up next to your bed, and we want you to look at that every single day and say, I am, or I love this about me, and then it's going to start to stick. So if you need help writing, for anybody out there, because these are the only way, you coming into your own, stepping into your greatness is the only way you're going to understand yourself and not make any more bad choices. Because the self-esteem piece is huge, but we want to make sure that we stay focused on the fact that we also want you to look at with the bad choices, ask yourself, answer these questions. What did I learn from my choices? What did I learn from, and you don't have to necessarily say bad choices. You can make 2 lists. What did I learn from my bad choices? What did I learn from my good choices? All right. And what can I do differently going forward specific to the bad choice? So if you say, well, I went out with this a-hole and we went out for 4 years and he just drained me and I don't want to ever do that again. Okay. So what bad choices did you make during that time? What good choices did you make during that time? What did you learn from it? And what can you do differently now? And part of it is learning about yourself. Like one of the things is just not, I think we had said that, right? I think we have said it, either relationship red flags or toxic relationships. Date yourself for a while, get to know you and see where your strengths and weaknesses are, and you work on your weaknesses. You don't jump right into something else to help somebody else fix your weaknesses. I mean, unless you want to work with a coach, like a professional, but we're saying like get into a relationship with somebody to help fix your weaknesses, because most of the time that's not going to be the case, especially if you were a giver. Because that's how I was. So I would go into a relationship with the idea of I'm going to fix this person. Yeah, never. That is
mi gente,
happening again.
No, because mi gente, Lori has removed her crown of Captain Saberhole. And Stephanie,
but I hold on to it every so often. I gotta admit that every so often I look at it and go, should I? No, should I?
Yeah. Well, there's certain people that deserves that. But Stephanie owns one of this because Carmen and her bought me this one. I don't know if you can read it.
Love, radiance, connection, nourishing, joy. I love it.
Yes, and look at how thick it is. It's a calendar, but with every one, and I saw Stephanie's, and that's why they gifted me that. This is nothing compared to how Stephanie has hers, and it has like all of this stuff in it. It's a great book, and hers is packed. So yes, Stephanie.
She said, sometimes I'm afraid to live in my mom's shadow as she is a superhero, and I'm afraid to disappoint. Oh, okay. First of all, I couldn't even imagine you would ever disappoint your mother. Your mother, right? I mean, your mother adores
all her kids. Carmen and Vic live for their kids. It's a beautiful thing.
And you have to just forge your own path and just take the qualities that you love about your mom and create your own self based on that, and believe me, I understand what it's like to live in a shadow, because I grew up in a household where, I was the youngest. I have 2 older siblings. The oldest is a brother, and then a sister in the middle. And my brother had a very strong personality, jokester. He was always out and about, like people knew him. And I always heard that all the time. Oh, you're so-and-so sister. Oh, you're so-and-so sister. I never had an identity. And it followed me through school. It followed me through my adulthood. And I would lie if I said I wasn't jealous every so often throughout my life, to say this is really frustrating. Not envious, but I got tired of it, because I was like, you know, because people sometimes don't want to even get to know, like they will just categorize you that way. So I finally just said, you know what, I'm just going to be me and I'm going to step out of the shadow. And I did, because I did stay in the shadow. It was my own fault. And I stepped out. And when people would say that, I don't hear it nearly as much as I used to, but when people would say that, I would say, oh, you mean so-and-so's my, you know, or I would say, oh no, he's my, like whatever, I would twist it, I'd flip it. And then I would just let the person get to know me. And that would be, you know, that wouldn't even be an issue anymore. That shadow would no longer be there. Let's shine the light onto that shadow. But definitely, she would never disappoint her. If anything, she just wants you to be happy and the best version of yourself. That's what any parent wants for their child, period.
Yeah, you can't disappoint Carmen. Carmen is like an angel on earth. I've always said that. You can't disappoint her. She's so proud of you. I want to give some shout outs to people who joined after. My sister-in-law, Cassandra, Janine, Carmen Nieves.
Yay! She must have heard we were talking about her, so she jumped on today.
My daughter, Tiffany Torres, who says, good morning, beautiful queens.
What's
Hola,
up,
mi nena.
Tiffany?
Yeah, Carmen, cannot, Stephanie, you are just, you know what, you're like the upgraded version of Carmen. So how can you disappoint her? And you have your own path because you were given a blessing, that was meant to deter you, and if anything, it's made you stronger, and it's increased his abilities. And I think that in itself talks about your strength and the path where you're still going to offer, because there's no other way, you have to, it's just who you are, the same type of care and concern and compassion for other people who come into your life. But you know, where your mother's going this way with community, you're going this way with education. So you will always be like right there for each other, back to back. And that's a beautiful thing. So there's no shadowing here. There's learning, there's guidance, there's a bit of direction towards your path. And then you have to be courageous enough to walk it. That's all it is. So I know we've done a lot of this and a lot of that, but Lori read her list. I wanted to read one that I wrote. If I think we have a couple minutes, and it says, to be happy, you must, 1, let go of what's gone. One more time. In order to be happy, you must let go of what's gone. And sometimes we sit here holding on to something that happened 6 months ago, wondering, especially if it has to do with the man, but I just want to know the whys, but I just need closure. No, the hell you don't. What you need to do is move the fuck on.
Yeah.
And that decision is the hardest. We know we have to do it. It has nothing to do with what they did and how absent they are. It has nothing to do with them not giving you closure, because you give yourself closure. It has to do with you knowing that you have to move on, and you found your comfort zone. No mas.
And closure is just an excuse. I know.
It is.
I've used
so hold on.
And don't ever expect closure, because you will not get, it's nothing, you'll never get it. Sometimes people are great and they will give you closure and they will help you move forward. But vast majority of the time, you will never get either some of it.
But you got closure. See, that's the thing. You got to be courageous with yourself, because you did get closure when the red flags were slapping you in the face. You got closure when you ignored them and you entered a toxic relationship. Yes. You got closure when you said, I got to get the hell out of this mess I got myself into. And you did. So now you're here. So let go of what's gone, because it was gone in the red flag stages. And it's not your fault, because we all can be stupid sometimes. Let's call it for what it is. We were blinded by what we thought was in love. We were blinded with, if I love him enough, he's going to change. All of that nonsense that we all are victims of, right? So let go of what's gone. Be grateful for what remains, which is you, your heart intact, your spirit solid.
Yes, gratitude.
And look forward to what is coming next. Because every step in life has chapters. There are the seasons. You know, we don't necessarily have to follow the farmer's almanac. What is it? Almanac, right?
Almanac.
Almanac. And the seasons. There's 4 seasons, right? Fall and spring are my favorite. But there's seasons in our lives that don't match up to that almanac. Okay? They're the seasons of each phase you're going through with whomever you're going through with it. And don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't be afraid to ask for healing, for clarity, for peace, for wisdom and guidance. Don't be afraid to ask for abundance and creativity, for light and love. Don't be timid in your prayers or requests. Be grateful, because a person's mind is so powerful. We can invent, create, experience, and destroy things with thoughts alone. So be your gladiator guru. Be your badass Buddha. And that's all this is saying. A person's mind is so powerful. It can invent, create, experience, and destroy things with thoughts alone. That is setting your intentions every day. That is putting it out there into the universe. That is you getting your power back. Is in believing that what you think, and it's something that we were raised on. If you think it, ink it, believe it, you'll achieve it.
Oh God, I love that.
Okay.
I've never heard. Say it again, one more time.
Oh my God, I used to teach this. If you think it, ink it, believe it, you'll achieve it.
Yes, because inking it, writing it down, puts it out there. Keeping it in here doesn't. It helps, but putting it on paper is very powerful.
And then you read it and you repeat it, and then you start believing it, because it becomes your mantra, because it is all your personal legend that you are about to embark on. Your personal legend is what you are about to embark on. So write it down, read it to yourself out loud. You're going to believe it, and then you're going to achieve what you were born to do in this lifetime. Don't blame anybody else for you not getting on your path. This is your journey to walk, and sometimes you walk it alone. So, and remember, before we leave, that good things takes time. Whatever it is that we are heading into, our purpose, our destiny, our legend, it's going to take time, because look at, I'm going to be 52. Shit, look at how long it's taken me. Did I die? No. Either when things happen to you, right? You grow or you learn. There's no good and bad. Either you grow with the abundance of it, or you learn with the tragedy of it. So keep those in mind. Just shift your thought patterns and how things go. And I'm working on this, because I can be good for a week, and then one little thing will happen, and I'm like, fuck my life. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. And then Lori's like, bring it in.
And then she does the same for me.
So we're all, it's not that nobody's perfect, mi gente, because nobody has all the answers. What we do is we share information that is vital to our spirit. You know, Lori and I are in this Cairo thing. She's done better than me, because sometimes I forget to eat my lunch. So then I'm only eating dinner, which is then shortchanging my body's mechanisms to lose what I need to lose. I forget to take my drops in the morning. I am guilty of it. It's not anyone else's fault. And I got to reel myself in. And I admitted this to Lori, because then I have to hold myself accountable to it. So every so often we think that, okay, I'll just pick it up here, but then there's no change. So you have to admit to the reality that, oh my God, let me get back on track. We've all been there. We're all going to continue to be there, but either you grow, and if you're not growing in that moment, you're learning in that moment. So it's a positive. And that's how you have to look at life. Okay, I didn't fuck up. I just learned what not to do tomorrow. That's how you have to shift that thought pattern
And not repeat.
Yeah. And you probably will repeat, because you know what? We're stubborn. We're prideful. We come from an era that we didn't grow up with love and affection. We didn't grow up like the Beavers. We grew up with, bitch, you're going to learn today. we grew up on survival mode. So survival mode is sometimes we just, okay, I got to get this done. I got to get it done now because it's a survival moment. And it's really not. But sometimes, you know, those old habits, they're just sitting right here. And so, but the thing is that you keep learning. Go back to that moment. Go back. Go to the archives. And if you have to do it now to move forward, and write down not what happened bad, but what you learned from it.
Right.
And then your list is going to be positive. And that's how you know that things are going to fall into place, because good things take time. And sometimes what happened 10 years ago, it was still in the training process, and it's going to happen now. But you got to believe in yourself to know that you are willing to spread your arms and accept the greatness that you are, that the universe, that God is providing you, and receive it with gratitude. Not with lingering, oh, but I suffered enough. No, leave that shit in yesterday. Because if it's either, you know what, I'm going to make it simple. I'm not going to say victim or survivor, because you know what, being a victim of rape and a survivor of rape, I really hate those two words. This is how I live my life. I am either the predator or I am the prey. Which one you want to be today? Be the predator of your dreams. You go after it. You hunt that bitch down until you nail it into your spirit and believe that this is what I've been waiting. I've not been waiting for the big house.
Bitch down.
You know, I haven't been waiting for the big house, the big promotion, the great husband. No, I've been waiting for myself to show up. Yes. Well, it's time to show up.
That's right.
Because only you can make it happen. Okay.
Shout out to Nan was on. I don't know if she's still on. And Michelle. Good morning, Nan and Michelle. And I just want to write. So Stephanie wrote, "I'm crying. LOL. Thank you, ladies. I'm crying. This was so much needed." And you are so welcome, Stephanie. And first of all, you were very brave what you wrote, because the fact that you even said what you said just speaks volumes of who you are. So we all need to honor that too. And whenever we see a tribe member share something that's so, you know, scary to share, or just, I also want the tribe members to really, you know, comment on that, you know, send love to those individuals, because, you know, send the hugs and all that stuff, because it's really important for them to have that backup. And then, so just to wrap everything up. So Margie, first off, was a list of 5 things that you love about yourself, right? That was what you asked everybody to do. We're going to do this really quickly because we know we need to go. The other questions are, what did I learn from my choices? Start with a list on bad choices. You could also put good choices. And what can I do differently going forward with the bad choices? And just always keep in mind, quit avoiding reality, quit living in the past, quit making excuses, quit putting yourself last, quit settling for less, quit refusing to listen to good advice. I'm only saying this again for those that came on late. Quit being so impulsive, quit being so emotional, quit avoiding the red flags, quit being negative, quit avoiding change, quit doing things that go against your values, quit avoiding making a decision, quit letting others define you, and quit thinking you know it all. All right, and so this is for you. Start it today. Okay, any last comments you want to make before we do our closing?
Yeah, so redesigning your life after bad choices, we gave you a list of pros and cons. We gave you a list of facing your demons and extinguishing it. That's what we did today. That's what we did with conversation we had. Be courageous enough to face your demons and extinguish it and move forward. So 3, for a prosperous life going forward, write these 3 questions down and answer them at your leisure, but answering them because I'm going to ask about it on Thursday. 1, what are you passionate about? 2, what excites you? And 3, what brings you joy? That's how you redesign your life.
That's
after
correct.
Bad choices.
Yes.
Because all this says is you are fucking amazing that you reached this stage. So let's grow. Let's grow together. Let's grow as a tribe. The Viva Cafe con Leche tribe is always here for you.
That's correct. And don't forget to share us. Share us on Facebook. Share us on subscribe on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to do that. Go on Viva Cafe con Leche.
Yes.
So good. So on Thursday's topic is, what the hell does he mean? With our guest and fan favorite, Ephraim Silva's coming on. So we will see you guys on Thursday, and you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the show and being here, and share, and let everybody know and hear and listen and help them grow. So as you grow, you'll help others grow. So thanks for coming on. We'll see you Thursday. I am Lori Monaco, the Badass Buddha. And remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
Mi gente, you have a great day. And remember, breathe in the beauty, breathe out the bullshit. Hasta Thursday.
Bye, everybody. Enjoy.